Simultaneous doppelganger sightings. It's one thing to have a twin you don't know about. It's another thing to have a carbon copy of yourself just pop into existence for a few minutes. Take the case of Émilie Saget, a French teacher in 1845. Her students reported seeing her doppelganger standing right next to her in class, mimicking her movements like a creepy mime. Sometimes the real Emily would be in her office, while her spectral twin sat in her chair in the classroom. A couple of brave students even tried to touch the ghost, saying they felt a weird cobweb-like resistance. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder if you're seeing double or if reality's copy-paste function is on the fritz. Either way, it's a great excuse for failing a pop quiz. The Kentucky meat shower of 1876. On March 3rd, 1876, the sky over Bath County, Kentucky decided to get weird. For several minutes, chunks of red meat fell from a perfectly clear sky onto a poor, unsuspecting farmer's wife. It wasn't raining men, it was hailing mutton. The pieces of flesh were about 2 to 4 inches square, covering a wide area. A couple of local guys, presumably out of sheer curiosity or because it was lunchtime, decided to taste the sky meat. Their verdict? It tasted like venison or lamb. Scientists of the day were baffled, with the leading theory being that a flock of vultures all decided to have a synchronized barf party while flying overhead. It remains the most disgusting and arguably most Kentucky weather event in history. Time slips and temporal anomalies. You're walking down a familiar street when suddenly everything looks old. Like really old. The cars are from the 1950s. People are dressed like they're in a black and white movie, and then you blink and it's all back to normal. Congratulations, you've experienced a time slip. The most famous case involved 2 English women visiting the Palace of Versailles in 1901. They claimed they wandered off the path and straight into 1789, complete with Marie Antoinette chilling in the garden. They described details of the long-gone landscape that were later verified by historical records. Were they gifted historians with overactive imaginations? Or did they accidentally stumble through a wrinkle in time? It makes you think twice about taking a shortcut. The Vanishing hotel rooms. This is a classic urban legend that's just terrifying enough to be plausible. The story usually goes something like this. A person checks into a hotel, often in a foreign city. They leave their room for a bit, maybe to get a doctor for their sick travel companion. When they get back, the room is gone. The wallpaper is different, the furniture is gone, and the hotel staff insists that not only do they have no record of you, but the room number itself never existed. It's a wall now. It's the ultimate gaslighting experience, making you question your own sanity. Did you imagine the whole thing? Or did you stumble upon a conspiracy so deep that they redecorated a room and brainwashed the entire staff just to mess with you? Identical stranger clusters. We live in a world of 8 billion people, so a little overlap is expected. But then there's this. You get on a bus and see 3 people, sitting separately, who are wearing the exact same outfit. Not just a similar shirt, but identical shoes, pants, jacket, and even the same weird hat. They don't know each other. They're not part of a team or a cult. They're just clones for the day. It's a glitch in the Matrix. A moment where the game designers got lazy and just reused the same character model to fill out the crowd. It's just statistically improbable enough to make your brain do a little somersault. For a brief, bizarre moment, it feels like the universe has run out of new ideas and is just hitting copy and paste. The missing day phenomenon. Imagine going to bed on a Tuesday night and waking up on what is definitively Thursday morning. You have no memory of Wednesday. At all. It's just a 24-hour black hole in your life. The weird part is your friends and coworkers say you were around. You went to work. You sent emails. You ate lunch. You apparently lived a completely normal, unremarkable day that your own consciousness decided to skip. It's not like amnesia from getting hit on the head. It's like your soul hit the fast forward button. Were you on autopilot? Were you briefly possessed by a very boring ghost who just wanted to catch up on your paperwork? It's a deeply personal mystery that suggests you might just be a side character in your own life. The repeating conversation loop. You're waiting for a train and a stranger asks you what time it is. You tell them. A minute later, the exact same person walks up to you and asks the exact same question in the exact same tone of voice with absolutely no recognition that they just did this. You're not having deja vu, you're talking to a broken NPC. This is the repeating conversation loop, a glitch in reality that feels like a scene from a sci-fi movie. It's a short, sharp shock to the system that makes you question everything. Is this person a robot? Are you having a neurological event? Or did reality just buffer for a second and replay the last bit of code? It's profoundly unsettling. The collective false memory events. This is like the Mandela effect's small town cousin. Imagine an entire community that shares a detailed memory of a local event that never actually happened. For example, everyone in town might remember the Great Mill Fire of '68 and tell stories about where they were when it happened. They can describe the smoke, the brave firefighters, and the sad ruin that stood for years after. There's just one tiny problem. A search of historical records shows there was no mill, no fire, and no sad ruin. The event is a complete fabrication that has somehow become a cornerstone of the town's collective identity. It's a powerful example of how stories can create a reality all their own, even if it's built on nothing. Temporal displacement experiences. A time slip is seeing a ghost of the past. A temporal displacement is when you become the ghost. This is when people report finding themselves for a few minutes in a different time period. 1 second you're walking through a modern city, the next you're on a cobblestone street dodging horse-drawn carriages and people in corsets. You are the anachronism. Everything looks, sounds, and smells authentic to the past, and you're the weirdo in jeans and a t-shirt. Just as you're starting to panic, you blink and you're back in the 21st century, heart pounding. It's a full immersion experience into history that no museum could ever hope to replicate, and it's absolutely terrifying. The Brian Schaffer Vanishing. So there's this guy, Brian Schaffer, a med student, which means he was already running on a mixture of caffeine and sheer panic. One night in 2006, he walks into a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloona. Classy. The place had exactly one public entrance and exit, both covered by security cameras. He's seen on camera going in, but he is never, ever seen coming out. He just vanished. It's like a magic trick performed by a god who forgot the prestige. Did he dissolve? Did he find a secret Narnia entrance in the men's room? The police were stumped. They even checked with a psychic, because when solid evidence fails, you might as well consult a lady who talks to her pet rock. To this day, it's one of the most baffling disappearances ever, proving that sometimes the universe's glitches are way scarier than any horror movie. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. Picture this. It's the 1580s, and England decides to plop a bunch of its citizens on an island in America, because what could go wrong? The governor of this little venture, John White, has to pop back to England for supplies, probably for more powdered wigs and lukewarm ale. He gets delayed for 3 years because of a war, which is a pretty solid excuse. When he finally gets back, the entire colony is gone. Like over 100 people just went poof. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a post. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, just a really cryptic Yelp review. Did they join a local tribe? Did they try to sail back to England on a raft made of hope and scurvy? Or did a UFO beam them all up? Nobody knows. The Mandela effect mass memory distortions. You know that famous line from Star Wars, like Luke, I am your father? Yeah, he never says that. He says, no, I am your father. And you know the Berenstain Bears? A lot of you probably remember it as Berenstein. This is the Mandela effect, a phenomenon where huge groups of people have the exact same false memory. It gets its name because thousands of people distinctly remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison back in the 80s, which would have made his later presidency really awkward. So what's the deal? Are we all collectively misremembering things like a global case of brain fog? Or are we occasionally slipping into parallel universes that are almost identical, save for the spelling of a kid's book or the fate of a world leader?